Like for the clan is what MC's father always said. He meant that MC should not desire anything, and that he should just stay by his brother's side like a shadow. We see MC is on his knees. One person says, "What a priceless sight. A knight fighting off the continent's strongest commanders on his own. As expected of that man's brother. Very interesting indeed."
Sion vert.
Cyan asks that person, "Who made you do this? Was it the emperor?" Cyan takes out his daggers, and we see that he is getting surrounded by black fog. Boris says, "That sickening black fog. It was just like the rumors said. You are an assassin from the Mist. Mist is an organization that is like fog to our Knights of Light. I will report to the higher-ups that I got rid of an impure being that was affiliated with the heathens." Cyan is very angry, holding on to his dagger, and tells him that he can tell them if he even has the mouth left to do that after this. "I guarantee you, you won't even have a tooth remaining after I'm done with you." Boris is getting nervous. He says, "If you intend to use your secret power, you better give up now. There is a 9th star magic barrier cast here." Cyan thinks that he need to get out of here and reveal culprit behind this with his brother. He is very angry and says, "A barrier? I'll just tear it to bits." Ice brother appears there. He asks Cyan to stop. Cyan gets shocked after seeing his brother. He never imagined that his brother would betray him. He thinks, "Live for the clan is what my father always said." His father tells him that his brother Askel is by extension the clan. Ashenvert's success is Cyanvert's success. Cyan sees his brother and thinks, the culprit behind this was Askel. He was very shocked and dropped to his knees. Askel says, "You seem very confused that I'm here." Cyan asks him, "What is the meaning of this?" He says, "You've carried out your duties well. For the clan, for the people, and for me. Therefore, I'm just trying to take the burden off your shoulders." Cyan is still in shock and says, "I don't understand. Did I do something wrong?" Ashen says, "Wrong? That ominous fog. You're nothing more than a murderer. I can't even call you human anymore. You fooled us for long enough. Can you really say that you don't know your sins?" Cyan thinks, "Murderer? My sins? What the hell is he talking about?" The succession fight within the Empire. The Demon King army's raid. The war to unify the continent. I helped you achieve all that you began, because serving you was my life. But now, you're abandoning me? I worked like a dog for 20 years under you. He is very angry. He gets up and thinks, "It doesn't matter if my entire body breaks down. I will give everything I have right now, if it means I can destroy you." Soldiers are shocked after seeing his powers and wonder how he still has this much mana left. That's impossible. That's no human. Cyan is ready to fight and says, "How silly. The hero is trying to kill his younger brother because he's afraid. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?" Cyan attacks him, but he dodges his attack. Cyan runs around and thinks that just once. Once is enough. They both are ready to collide their weapons. Cyan thinks, if I can stab his weak point so that he can't regenerate. There is a barrier that stops Cyan's attack. This barrier is created by Boris. Ashen stabs him with his sword and says, "You poor bastard. I wanted to do you the favor of giving you a painless death since you are my younger brother, but you have shown your true colors. I knew that was what you were from the start. A demon. It's a good thing I never trusted you to begin with." He throws Cyan away and is about to go away from there. Cyan is about to die and thinks, "Damn it. Is this my end? What a foolish life I've led. Stupid." He suddenly jumps to attack Ashen. Ashen sees that and attacks him, which kills him. After that, he wakes up on his bed. His maid Emily is there. She asks about how long he intends to sleep for. She tells him that he needs to get ready. She is calling him a young master. Cyan suddenly asks her, "Why are you here?" He thinks, "It has been almost 20 years since I last saw her. She's the same as the last time I saw her. This place, I remember. It's the room I used to live in when I was younger. The furniture arrangement is the same too. Wait, am I back to being a child?" Emily asks him if he is stalling for time because he doesn't want to go to training. She tells him to make up his mind and get ready for training. We see the Vert clan duchy. Cyan is there. He thinks, "I'm certain. I'm back in the duchy in the past. Is this like the thing where your life flashes before your eyes before death? I remember. 27 years ago. Foundation year 985. March 1st. It was a year before I entered the academy. Every year, the duchy holds a duel training session. My father, who is the owner of the duchy, Duke Very, attends the event, making it a very big deal. My opponent is Kransfurt. He is the same age as me. My half-brother. His mother, Margaret Erzith, is the Duke's wife. Krantz received a lot more attention despite the fact that we were both the youngest. I was a bastardized son, and after being mocked in this fight, I became a laughing stock to everyone. This duel was the reason my father stopped paying any attention to me too. Emily suggests that he surrender. Cyan tells her that it's fine. He can easily win. Cyan thinks, even a maid is looking down on me. He picks up the rapier and thinks, it's just a rapier. But it's so heavy. My strength is the same as when I was this age. This sensation, it's definitely not a dream. Nor is my life flashing before my eyes. I've never even heard of a magic spell that is capable of creating such strong illusions either. Am I really back in the past? Then maybe I can change the future. Krantz says, you didn't run off. Vert tells them to begin the duel. Krantz runs to attack him while asking him what he is looking at. Krantz is about to hit him. Cyan sees him and thinks, what? Is he a snail or something? Cyan easily dodges his attack. Krantz tries to attack him again and says, dodging like a coward. Cyan attacks him and throws his weapon away. Cyan hits him on the leg. He starts to scream in pain. His mother is worrying for him. Cyan thinks, now if I just put my sword up to his throat, this duel is over. But that's not enough. When I was this age, Krantz always bullied me as his form of entertainment. That bullying continued in the academy too. So I need to really stomp him down so that he can never try to do anything to me again. In this life, I will now pave a path on my own, for myself. After getting beaten by Cyan, Krantz passed out. The result of the duel was Krantz's loss. The Duke ordered for me to see him, and even freed up his schedule. Was my victory in the duel that impressive? I even have a high-class knight, Yulkin, who was directly affiliated with the Duke, escorting me. Cyan sees Krantz's mother on his way. After seeing her, Cyan smiles and thinks, she seems like she was talking to him about her son. She looks like she stepped in shit. Cyan asks him, is Krantz okay, madam? She gets angry and says, you have the audacity to ask such a question after beating your brother like that? How thick-skinned of you. Cyan tells her that this is how duels work. She says, this is why bastards shouldn't be treated like legitimate children. Like mother, like son. It's all because the mother is some dirty whore. You should be on the streets begging for food instead. You dare to put up a fight? You should know to be grateful. Cyan gets very angry and thinks, she has crossed the line. Should I kill her? No, I know better than anyone how to make her suffer. I'm going to torture her. Slowly, like painstakingly slowly. Cyan says, you know I'm going to the academy as well along with Krantz, right? She asks him what exactly is his point. Cyan says, I'm sure you want your son to graduate with his limbs intact, right? I guess you're not that worried about him, Duchess? She is about to hit him. Yulkin stops her and says, I apologize, Duchess. The Duke called for him with urgency, so I don't think we can delay anymore. We'll get going now. Cyan laughs and says, the Duke's orders are absolute. I'm being protected by the guard knight who was given that order. A knight who won't submit even to the Duke's wife. How nice and reliable. He enters the room of Duke. He says, from Cyan, the youngest child of the house of Vert, greetings, father. Vert asks him to have a seat. He thinks, it's been almost 15 years since we met one-on-one. Duke Willius Vert, the great feudal lord of Velias, a western feud of the Ushif Empire. The Wood calls him by a different name, Guardian of the Continent, the hero who stopped the invasion of demons for a long time. With the help of his remarkable magic power and worldly wisdom, this man shouldered a responsibility no once compelled on him, until his very death in battle against the invasion of the Demon King's army. All he wanted was there to be peace in the entirety of the continent. But my memories of him are different. As a man who utilized his free will to decide on living his whole life serving others. A stupid man. Very says, your eyes precisely followed the sword and dodged it. The moment Krantz ran at you, you looked straight at the path of the swinging sword and turned your body to dodge it. When did you learn how to wield a sword? Cyan replies, I wouldn't say I learn it. I practiced it every night on my own. Very says, from what I know, you've never had any interest in swordsmanship. Why did you hide such excellent skills? Cyan replies, I didn't really want to catch others' attention. Vert says, despite that, you really went all out at taking down Krantz. But wasn't what you did after that unnecessary? Cyan thinks, his intention behind that question seems pretty pursuing. Is he trying to get a feel of what I'm capable of? Cyan tells him that he wanted to prove himself. Very asks him about what he wants to prove. Cyan tells him that he wants to prove that he is better than Krantz, even though we share the same blood, which is also what I concluded as the meaning of the duel. Very smiles and says, excellent. A clear and concise answer that shows off your level-headedness. I didn't know you were so talented.
I'm delighted.
You'll become a great, reliable source for the Askel one day. Cyan thinks, what? Why would I become his helper? It's the same as always. He's still as obsessed as ever with Askel. Vert says, it's not a trophy, but I want to reward you for this duel. If you want something, you can tell me. Cyan thinks, then, I'll destroy everything. Everything that Askel tried to do. Cyan tells him that he wants to enter the battlefront. Emily gets shocked after hearing that Cyan wants to enter the battlefront. Cyan says, yeah, that's right. Nothing's certain yet. She asks him, are you out of your mind? Do you have any idea what kind of place that is? It's swarming with wicked and terrifying demonic beasts all over the place. Velias, the western feud of the Ushif Empire. This is the only place in the entire continent to be called the battlefront. Even in that the Lima Valley, that can be called the front line, is a ferocious battlefield where the battles with demons have been going on for hundreds of years. Because of that, my father, who stubbornly opposed it from the start, gave me a condition to become worthy of going to Limia Valley within 1 month. Cyan thinks, I don't know on what basis he will decide my worth yet. I just gotta raise my physical strength as much as possible in the time I've been given. I'm still weaker than my peers. At least I'm lucky enough to have the same combat sense as I had before regressing, and the little amount of magic I sense from within me. If I train this body as per my capability, I can definitely make good use of it. I'm going to start training today. Cyan's sister Alice appears there. She grabs Cyan and asks him if he is crazy. She tells him she heard that you asked father to send you to the battlefront. She says, it looks like defeating Krantz got to your head. This won't do. Come with me to the rooftop. They appear on the rooftop. She says, now, we start when we draw our swords. I'll let you go to the battlefront if you can endure my attacks for 3 minutes. Cyan asks her, do you really have to go this far, Alice? She says, I'm not hearing any of that. Just answer one question. Are you after the family's title? Cyan thinks, that's why she's doing this? I'm not the slightest bit interested in that. She assumes that he is and asks him to draw his sword. Cyan thinks, it hasn't even been half a day since my duel with Krantz. The whole day was chaotic. She runs to attack him, but Cyan stops her attack. She thinks, no way. He blocked that. He's a 10-year-old though? Cyan thinks, are you really trying to go all out against your brother who's 7 years younger? She thinks, a rapier has a very light blade. Yet he cleanly parried off my long sword's attack. Was he just lucky this time? She says, you've got better intuition than I thought. She attacks her, but he dodges her attack again. She gets very shocked. Cyan is barely holding her attack. They both get away from each other. Cyan is scared and thinks, that was dangerous. If I didn't move the sword midway, I would have killed her. Bro is scared that she might die. He thinks, most of the missed swordsmanship's assassination technique skills are instant kill. Since I lack stamina, dealing with her without killing her will be hard. How much longer till the 3 minutes are over? I've overcome the difference in physical strength by pouring magic power into the sword, but I'm almost at my limit. Alice is looking very exhausted. She says, O earth, O wind, come to me, become my sword. Cyan notices that she is about to use 6-star grade magic. She is using the aqua blade. Cyan cries and thinks, is she about to kill me? She is saying that she can't lose. Cyan thinks, I was wrong. The look on her face makes it clear she's crazy. Even if I block that, I'll still fall outside the castle. Since it's come to this, I don't have another choice. She is about to use her final attack. Cyan runs to block the attack while thinking, please, stop hesitating and just come out. Yulkin appears there and stop both of them. Yulkin says, Lady Alice, that's going too far against the young master. Cyan is relieved and thinks, I was wondering when you would show up. Alice comes back to her senses. She hugs Cyan and says, I'm sorry, Cyan. I lost it for a moment. I just didn't want to allow you to go to the front line, because I was too obsessed with that I unknowingly was about to use that attack. Cyan thinks that just like Noonim, she's too hardworking. Noonim is part of the Royal Academy where all the proud noblemen of the continent are gathered. She was the elite of the elite, with an unparalleled record of having an S grade in all subjects, like swordsmanship, magic, literature, etc. And to top it all off, she had a beautiful face, so people called her Child of God. Noonim, who wielded the sword since she was little, was called the next protector of the continent, alongside the eldest son, Eshelvert. But not long after she joined the Knight of Light, she ended up meeting a miserable end. I missed you, Noonim. I'll protect you this time. Alice asks Yulkin, aren't you the Duke's guardian knight? Didn't the Duke just leave on a business trip? Yulkin says, I was carrying out his order to guard the young master Cyan for now. Although, I couldn't tell you earlier because I was told to keep it secret. Cyan thinks, I'd been feeling his presence since I left the office. Would he not have appeared at all if I continued acting like I didn't notice? But why did my father make it a secret? Cyan falls asleep while hugging Alice. The next day, Noonim returned to the academy. I had come to meet father before graduation. He barely did 10 push-ups. He thinks, I devoted myself to exercising for 2 weeks, since I felt the desperate need for stamina training. He is very tired and thinks, 10 is my limit. There has only been despair for 2 weeks. I was pretty confident when it came to stamina. Urgent measure need to be taken. Emily appears there and says, Young master, a parcel from Lady Alice has arrived, and it smells awful. Cyan thinks, it's the hellhound's blood that I'd requested from Noonim, who felt sorry. It's a rare item that can only be obtained in Ramia Valley, but it seems the rumor that it was going around in the black market was true. Due to its distinct foul smell and the burning sensation it leaves in the mouth, the demonic beast's blood is considered a poisonous substance, but in reality it has the effect of permanently increasing the taker's magic power and stamina. Many says it's only superstition, but I'd seen its effect very well in my previous life. Emily asks him if he is really going to drink that. Cyan says, yeah, and thinks, don't worry, Emily. I'm the only person who's even adapted to your food. I remember that first moment. Was it button mushroom soup? I nearly had a heart attack after eating that. Compared to that soup, this is delicious. He drinks all of it. Cyan gets up and tells Emily that he is going out for a walk. He thinks, well, shall we see how well the medicine works? He is outside and thinks, it's been a long time since I last came here. I've been waiting for this day for 2 weeks. This moment, when Yulkin isn't here due to making his regular report. This was a place I often came to whenever I wanted to be alone. But one day, a revelation from the god of light, Rummindel, came to Eshel. It was a revelation about a dormant ancient temple somewhere in the Black Hill of the Valia's estate. I was skeptical about it, but there really was a spot where the flow of mana was concentrated. Of course, the revelation hasn't come down yet. Only I know about it for now. He uses his mana on the ground and thinks, Eshel, what I'm about to do now, you would never even seen, I guess. Ground breaks, and we see stairs leading to an underground temple. Cyan says, should I give it a go? Cyan is walking down the stair and thinks, it looks different from before. This place has been serving the god of light, Rummindel, until the history of this land was erased. During the Holy was 300 years ago. We can see a temple. There is also something emitting light. Cyan thinks, I can't believe there was a place like this. Who would have imagined? I see it. The owner of this temple. There is a big and legendary-looking sword. We see the year 999, August 12th. Humans finally succeeded in driving out the demons that took over Valias. The demons were beyond human limits. Then the humans discovered ancient artifacts called God's Treasure. With these they were able to achieve victory. One of the artifacts is Drandark, the holy sword guarded by the god of light Ramindel, regarded as God's treasure, led the victory against the demons. And I will meet a tragic end because of Eshelvert who will possess that sword. The Drandark might be related to my regression. He touches the sword and thinks, I knew it. Nothing happening. He hits the sword and says, it just made me feel like shit. Let's just do what I have to do and leave. Shadow emerged beyond the light. Found it. There is a circle with a dark sword. Cyan says, anyone would think it's the shadow of the sword at first glance, because it's ridiculous for something shadow to be like this. But this isn't a shadow. Where there is light, there is darkness. He emits his mana on the ground. He says that it's the passage to another realm concealed by the altar of light. We see there is a dagger that Cyan was holding before his regression. He says, I'm actually glad to see it like this. My dagger, the demon blade, Karam. Dagger is also emitting the mana that is the same as Cyan's mana. Cyan asks Karam to wake from his sleep. He swings the dagger around and asks if he is still sleeping. Cyan is happy and says, this familiar sensation. This is the best. I want to use it somewhere. We see someone coming out from the shadow. That person says, how brave of you, kid. Don't you know what it means to wake me up? Cyan tells that person he doesn't care what happens and tells that person this dagger is his now. That thing gets bigger and says, I can't believe you've awoken a sleeping demon blade. It's too late to regret it. Your body is mine now. That shadow goes towards Cyan, but he easily grabs the shadow. That shadow is a girl and Cyan is holding her from the throat. Cyan says, I didn't have to take measures back then. She asks him, what are you? How are you able to touch me? He replies, I told you, didn't I? You're mine. She tries to attack and asks him to get lost. She gets away from him. She asks him, who are you? Are you the heir? Why do you have heir's energy? Cyan replies, you're right. I'm heir's heir. Your master is here, so bow your head. Demon blade, Karam. She tells him that she can't accept this because he is just a kid. She tries to attack him, but he blocks all of her attacks. Cyan thinks, talking won't work. The final goal of a demon blade is to steal the body of its user. It can't be helped. Should I go easy on her? Cyan is still smiling. He says, demon blade control. Karam feels the pressure and falls on the ground. Cyan says, it's annoying, so I'll only say this once. Can you just accept me as your owner while I'm still talking nicely? She tries to get up and asks him, how do you have that skill? He uses the demon blade control again and again and again. He uses it again and again until she acknowledges him as her owner. Cyan thinks, I've achieved my goal. Should I return now? I left the place empty for a while. She is inside the blade. She says, I haven't tasted the outside air for so long.
I'm excited.
She turns into a floating orb. She asks him, sir, what's your name? He tells her his name. She asks him, did Air really choose a child like you as his heir? Cyan says, yeah, in my past life. She doesn't believe him. Cyan tells her that he already died once. She sees the holy sword and says, that sword is still sleeping. Cyan says, its owner might appear 20 years from now. Cyan cuts the handle of the sword, due to which sword falls down. Karam asks him, what are you going to do with it? Cyan replies, I don't know, and even if I don't right now, won't it be interesting in the future? This is the end of the video. Subscribe for next part.